Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Journal of Interdisciplinary Studies in Education. We have very short agenda for this morning. We want to update you about the journal activities and also share the goal that we set for this year. Also, you will hear about the special issues that we are working on. And then also we'd like to get your feedback. So that's a plan for today's, for this morning. And we have published all the volumes of last year. It's biannual, 2 volumes per year. And also we have 1 special issues on the way. You will hear from Dr. Eman Sala, founding editors, in a few minutes. Also, we have associate editor, Dr. Lauren Henderson from UMBC, and our colleagues, Keith from Texas, and other colleagues from outside the US. So talking about the journals, we have 1 goal, 1 mission to advance the field through interdisciplinary research. We welcome your views and ideas from different discipline perspective, from sociology, education, from anthropology, and other fields, and we want to see the power of collaboration. Talking about our outreach and then workflow, we had in a better year last year compared to earlier year. We have more visitors and more registered members, and also circulating our outcome through all the members that we have from Star Scholars, those 17,000, they receive our updates and publications. I was looking earlier about the number of entries we received. Last year, 2022, we received 60, and nearly half of them were published. And the year before, we published about the. Talking about the diversity and inclusion of our authors, we have a representation across the globe, and we feel proud of that. And that we will be including these data points to our upcoming Scopus applications. And this year, Scopus has given a green light for us to move forward. Also, we were pleased with our representations. Still, we have more about 50% in US. That's the way it started the journal. We are trying our best to reach out other countries, and we have fair share to other countries, as you see on my screen. So regarding the goal of this year, one of the goal, which is to continue our quality and rigor of publications. And then for the leadership team, we will be turning in our application for the Scopus. We were asked to wait a couple of years, and now this is the year. Also, there will be more training and resources for the new coming member of the journals, also for the senior members, for the mentoring and training and those things. Dr. Sala and the leadership team will be working to recognize the hard work of our reviewers. So there is a batch of scholars coming out or announcing who received the Excellence in Peer Review Awards, and this would be the tradition will continue. And also the journal is representing in the national, international conferences, including Comparative and International Education Society. We have our special interest group. I was the founding chair of the CIES, one of the special interest group, and we do have a representation there. Also, we have annual conferences from the Star Scholars Network. It was in Mauritius last year. This year is in Vigo, Spain. We will have those announcements later on. So we have a special issue already finalized for the summer of 2023. And the Dr. Cook will share the more information about 2024 summer special issues. Will focus on Asia and one of the aspects of Asian higher education. She will email all of us later on. That's there. And then also we have a task force. I invited Dr. Leonardo Village, but because of the time difference, he's not able to be here. We are working on the aims and scope. We like to get your feedback and input. And then we had a special issue last year. So before I go the other slides, I'd like to pause here, and then once to hear your feedback, your opinions, any other observations that you have, observed so far as being a member of the Journal of Interdisciplinary Studies. regarding the aims, scope, or some of the areas to improve. So I stop sharing here and then wants to get your feedback. Maybe we can go around the room and wants to hear from each of you, maybe in a few seconds. Maybe we start from Keith.
Good morning. I'm pleased to see that we are getting more international representation and that there are more submissions and articles being published on an international basis. I do think we need to continue working in that area, and I'm pleased with the goals and the special issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then we'll move to David, and after David, we'll go to Sri. After Sri, we go Kenya to Cosmos, and the Kim, I guess he's in the Polar US, and then Sarah. Okay, over to you, David.
Good morning. I've had a few reviews that I've completed, and I've appreciated that the editor that was assigned to the project was supportive, and in both cases, some articles that needed some adjustment, one that needed more than the other, and I think that the editor assigned did a great job in making that final decision, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, David. Let's move to Sri, to India, and Cosmos Kenya, and Kim, and then Sahar.
So I was just curious when this Asian version of our journal is going to publish a special edition. That is one query only. So it is very nice that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it will focus on the higher education aspect from Asia. It could be some countries from South Asia or other countries. Shahar, if you have any thoughts, comments to hear from you, and then we can go back to Dr. Henderson for her, insight being an editor of the journal.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sahara Safari. I'm assistant professor of art and graphic design at the University of South Carolina, Lancaster. So my research area is STEAM, mostly interdisciplinary studies between art and science. This journal is one of the most important, like the journal which I believe that it's pursue my goals to get a publication. And I did several reviews for these journals, which I believe that it's very important journal, and it's very, significant journal for different levels, including like K-12 and higher education. And I would be happy to continue my work with these journals. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And colleagues in the room, if you have any quick thoughts, ideas, tips, and some of the changes you want to see, if you are not in a situation where to speak, maybe you can use the chat room to drop your ideas. Over to you, Dr. Henderson.
Okay. So as one of the editors, I have been enjoying learning about the new insights in the field. And I guess if I had to give suggestions, is that what you would like from me, Krishna? I would suggest one, that you schedule time for the reviews, because put it on your calendar for once a week to check, because sometimes things are coming in and then sometimes they aren't. And then if you get kind of off schedule, you might miss something. So just having a time every week that's on your schedule to look. The other thing, is it okay, Krishna, if I give like 2 or 3 comments?
Please.
With your time? Okay. So one thing is, if you get 4 or 5 reviews, talking with your authors about how to respond to those reviews, because sometimes you may not know if they actually really addressed the comment, and it takes a lot more time to go back through each review and to look for the actual change that they may have made to address the author's, to address the reviewer's comments. So if you ask the reviewer, if you ask the authors to let you know where they made those significant changes. That could be helpful. And then the last thing is, I believe this is correct, Krishna, and you can correct me if it's not, but you do have, the right and responsibility to accept or reject a paper. So if, you feel like the reviews are strong enough, maybe you've requested 4 and you've only received 3, you can go ahead and make your decision as one of the section editors. And I believe that's correct, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes waiting is only holding the authors up. If you think the paper is strong and you have a support from, 2 or 3 reviewers, go ahead and move forward, because people are waiting for their manuscript. So those would be my suggestions.
Thank you very much. And in the same line of the suggestions, as an associate editors, also you have the autonomous decision-making power. You can recruit some of the reviewers. You can invite them to be the part of the review team, if that helps in the process. For the members in the room who are interested to join the editorial board member as a reviewers or as an editor, please let us know. There are some process and some of the learning opportunities. It's a win-win for you, and also the strong contribution to our scholarly community. Thank you, Dr. Henderson, on that. And then if there are any other questions in the room, please let us know.
Also, please provide any feedback to improve the journal. If you're running into issues or you have observations about maybe something that's not working very smoothly, please give us feedback. We're in the process of, as Chris pointed out, we have a task force that's looking at improving the process and streamlining the process. So we're seeking your feedback.
Thank you. I'd like to request 1 minute of your time to look into the website. I shared in the chat the link. I can also share the screen. If there is any quick things you have noticed regarding the usability of the website, anything that's confusing, anything that's kind of, not clear, any terminology or anything in the first glance, if you see something, please let us know. We want to include a few other areas, including technology, and then some of the latest things happen after COVID, because the things here listed were before COVID pandemic, and we have learned a big lessons out of that.
I have a question or a suggestion, and I don't know when the authors receive their instructions on how to respond. I have gotten different ways that I've received it. So sometimes I've received like a letter, not often, but I have, to me as the editor, along with the revised manuscript of what they did. And sometimes I just received the revised manuscript. It would be really helpful if they were specifically instructed to use like line numbers and to mention in either their cover letter where they made the change, because it takes a lot of time to know if they updated the changes from the, like comparing the two, and especially if there are competing reviewer comments. So one tells you to do red and the other tells you to do blue. Which one, and which one, or did they decide to do yellow instead? It would be really helpful if they were instructed specifically to, and maybe provided an example in your letter to the editor to say, these are my responses. This is where I made the change for reviewer 1, page number, line number. And these are my comments for reviewer 2. This was their comment, and because it takes a lot of time.
Thank you. Yes, this is very helpful suggestion. In fact, the expectation is for the author is to make a table where they make a list of the comments provided by the reviewers and then the changes they made in the new manuscript. In earlier days, we also asked them to make a color coded so we know where are exactly made changes. I will
Mhm.
double check the automatic letters that goes when we click revise and resubmit. In that form, I will spell out those, and
Mhm.
as an editor, probably also all of us can request the author that, okay, these are not the things I see the changes. I want to see a table where it says these are the comments and these were the changes made, so that it would be more for us also to keep the records of what's going on regarding that particular
Mhm.
manuscript, because
Can you show us where that is?
that should be within, once you log in on your portfolio, I will log in a minute and see. That should be the area that suggests make changes and do those. All right, I will pull that in a minute. Any other notes? Um, Yes, the one question in the chat room was about the timeline. We try our best to complete the cycle of manuscript within 90 days, particularly receiving and sending out the reviewers and getting their feedback. Sometimes it takes longer because some reviewers are not available. And that's where Dr. Henderson were mentioning earlier that, um, having, a sort of commitment from our reviewers so that we finish the assignment and then author are not waiting so long. All right, I will pull the dashboard. Meanwhile, you guys, take another 30 seconds to look the website and find the information or any suggestions.
As Dr. Pista have pointed out in earlier version, and we're not sure if it's still available, but we were asking the authors to highlight the changes they made and actually make a list of all the changes they made. Like some of them did tables where they just pointed out how they addressed each one of the reviewers' comments, and they highlighted. Um, but we'll double check and make sure that this information is still going up. But I think it is, because I'm still getting responses from authors with the detailed information about how they address the changes.
Thank you, Dr. Sala. I am back with the one dashboard. I know many of the information are confidential, but this isn't just an example. And this would be something the editor will see on their dashboard. You go to the submission, you can see the workflow and then the history of the manuscript. So when I look into my log activities here, it can tells me the number of communication I have done with this particular author. From look at the number of communications we have done. So the production of any articles takes a lot of times, a lots of communication back and forth. So this is one good example where we were, considering this particular manuscript for publication. So we assigned the reviewers. You can see I assigned to 4 of them. 1 of them declined. So still I was, no, 2 of them declined, and I was fortunate to receive 2 manuscripts. As Professor Henderson mentioned earlier, as an editor, I am also responsible to read the manuscript and also read the comments received from the 2 other reviewers and make my decision. Sometimes we do not solely rely on the comments provided by the reviewers. That's a part of our publication process. So here are the couple of versions we received for the revision. The question of the Professor Henderson was, when you make a decision, let's say when you receive the manuscript and then you make a decision, let's say, for example, I'm changing the decision here, and then let's say I request revision. When I click request revision, the system will generate a template message where we are asking them to make changes. This is your manuscript, and then here is my decision, revise and resubmit, and then here is a link, and then we ask them, you may refer the visual step-by-step guide on how to respond. So there is a note sample, and then we are asking them to use those information along with their revision, what and how they made changes. Maybe as an editor, we can edit this message. You can ask them whatever you want to see other than the prompt we have already listed on this pre-written template. So please feel free to edit, adjust the way you want to see in the revised later. So you have a little bit change there as well. But this is our just the pre-inserted direction for the authors. They are supposed to do line by line or point by point changes that we want to see. If the reviewers are not making those changes, if you see first glance not making lots of changes, I think it's absolutely fine to reject the manuscript and move on, because we have also other fishes to fry, and we have lots of heavy responsibility. So we are trying our best to help the authors. If they are not willing to cooperate, if they are not willing to make changes as we recommend, then it's unfortunate for them. And sorry, we also missed the opportunity to publish you. Okay, any other questions we have regarding the dashboard or any of the other areas of the journal? And I can go back to my PowerPoint. Let's pause and take a quick questions. I also get the challenge on the password that's happening frequently. And then the solution I receive is that as long as you clean your cache from the Chrome or any browser, it will help you. Actually, I spent a little bit time earlier as well to pull my, password and usernames. So the other things here, we talk about the special issues we published in the past. We were so glad to cover the Africa, Asia, and then now we have special issues coming from Europe. And all of our editions are coming in both print and the digital one. So if you are in need of the hard copies for your tenure promotion or other things, you can download hard copies from the websites. They are available on even Walmart or Amazon or other venues, and all of them should be less than about $15 or so. But the digital copies are free. There is no fees. As we promised to the authors to download, sometime complimentary copies are also available. The journal has been listed on all major databases except the Scopus, which is happening this year, and we are very much looking forward to it. And then as an editors or as an authors, here you can see some of the rationale why we reject. We reject usually unoriginal or some of the things that we have already published, or some manuscript that do not align with our aims and scope. All of our editors can feel, can smell in a glance based on the way you turn in, even the table of content or abstract, titles or references, all can tell us quickly whether this manuscript is going to the next level or not. Our the Dex editor, managing editor, also can feel. Dex editor can reject as well, and those accepted from the Dex reviews will go to our editor section editors, and they will take them further steps. We have those tips and suggestions on the website. I can send a copy of slides after our meeting, or it will be posted on the website of the journals. You can see under resources, there is a tab called resources. For the also, we have a videos about the best practices of reviewing. I will not play those things now. We have the roles and responsibilities of our associate editors and assistant editors. Usually for the 3 years, they can be renewed based on their performances. Assistant editors is just the support person for the associate editors, and that role can go to associate editors later on. These are the other things that I've been repeating in our previous sessions. We work and consider on these major areas. Usually you as an associate editor will be working with the reviewers. You can have 3 or more, but as long as you have 2 reviews in, I think we are good. We start assigning to 3 reviewers with the hope that at least we get 2 entries in, and that's happening. Sometimes it's unfortunate because life happens, and we are very much, mindful of those situations. So usually we say about, a week, you get the automated notification, or one of the editor will let you know that we receive review process. I would say it's 90 days is our turnaround times. I will skip all of those because of the time. Again, everything is voluntary here. Editors are not paid, reviewers are not paid. The money we have so far is to use for the copy editing and the layout design. We also want to focus on aesthetic of the journal, and then other areas as needed for the professional development of our editors. Other than the journals, we have the annual global essay contest. Please feel free to share this with your students or friends, families who are interested to write their cross-cultural stories. It's for the both inbound and outbound student and faculty members, stories of the Fulbrights or exchange programs. Those would be nice. We also publish one book each year based on the essays we receive. And then also we award the best essays. STAR has also other resources for you, for your colleagues and universities. You can visit the website, starscholars.org. We have books. We have the partnering publishing house. Dr. Sala is publishing a couple of books with Springer and Macmillan. I have one or two, and Professor Henderson has also one book already in the pipeline. It's coming out, and we are so happy to share those news in a future sessions as well. We have several books already published from Routledge and in collaboration with Journal of International Student, OJED, Open Journals in Education, and STAR Scholars. In fact, we published 41 books in last few years, couple of years. We have Millennium Scholar. This is a mentor-mentee. If you think this is something helpful for your department or colleagues, please feel free to reach out the STAR Scholars team, a member or the point of contact person. They do have the Certified Research Scholar program. Those colleagues who finish the training can come directly to one or two of our, available position in the journal or other place. In fact, this story, this is the second time we are doing. Last year was the first batch of the 50 scholars, and they made the headlines in the Chronicle of Higher Education. So you can read those things from the STAR website. And then also we have the Noam Chomsky Awards. These awards are for those members who are not in the leadership position of the STAR Scholars. So if you are not in any of the leadership positions, please feel free to apply. These are annual awards named after Noam Chomsky. We have lots of other journals. You can be the part of that. What else? I think that is the end of my slides. All right, any questions, comment before we go? I'd like to have a short meeting, a regular one.
Would you share those application links with us? Can you send them out as an email?
Sure, I can do as a follow-up with all the members who have been with us this morning. I have an email, and also I put the link in the chat so that all of you can, look into the available resources. Also, we have upcoming STAR meetings, depending on your time zone and interest, you can be in those sessions, including the upcoming conference. All right, for the closing note, I invite Keith and Dr. Sala. Any notes, any observation we have moving forward for our next meeting?
We also, I just want to point out that we do usually publish, as Chris said, a summer, usually it's in the summer special issue that's usually themed. So, and we seek people who are interested to be guest editors for these special issues. So currently we already have one in the works for 2023 that's almost done. It's the theme for it is traveling concepts in interdisciplinary education. And most of the authors, or actually all of the authors, are from Europe, so it's kind of represent that continent. In the last 2 years, we had themes from Africa. So in 2021, one in 2020, we had special issue portraying and education in Africa. One, it was about the Kenyan educational system, and the other was about Ghana. And that was, we were very proud to portray and represent Africa. And Dr. Cook is attempting to start a special issue for the summer of 24, dealing with blended education in Asia. So we're always looking for people who are interested to be guest editors. If you have a theme and you have a topic and you have colleagues that you think they would collaborate with you on producing a special issue, please let us know, and please come forward. We're looking forward for producing some, especially to highlight some of the areas that usually do not get highlighted in our regular journals. Always please help us recruit reviewers and editors, because that makes our job easier and make us be able to respond and publish the articles in a timely manner. The one obstacles what we usually have is the reviewers and the editors not being able to respond in a timely manner, and we do not like to overburden the ones like Dr. Henderson and Dr. Conrad, who been with us for quite some time, and they do a wonderful job, but we try not to overload them with the work. So we please help us recruit good reviewers and good editors to help us keep the journal going. And as Dr. Bista said, we're really hoping to go up for Scopus by the end of the year and be listed with them. So always reach out for any of us with any feedback you have to help us keep the journal in a prestigious stage. We have came a long way since we started in 2012, and we'll keep going with all your help and contribution.
Thank you, Dr. Sala. On this note, yes, looking into the 12 years of history, we feel proud that we were able to mentor 312 reviewers. That's in our history, and then 15 editors. And right now we have 603, loyal users within the portal of this particular journal. So yes, we have a room, and, the reviewers were very grateful. So please help us, secure more reviewers if they are willing, or it is need for them. We have a mentorship trainings available. With that note, any final thoughts, Keith, you'd like to say it? Or David or Sahar? All right, good. All right, thank you very much. Let us know also your interest in any of these task force. Sahar, I see your microphone on. Just one.
Yeah, I was saying thank you. It was very helpful. And as always, Journal is doing a great job, and we're definitely happy to continue our collaboration with this journal. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Happy semester ahead.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.